Hi, very good morning from you on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Another morning post of Champions League debacle in Ranajo in Italy, and for some reason, all of a sudden, in Kofawa Betia said the importance and why some of us kept on saying that you just can't underestimate how good Inter Milan for their year. And maybe people don't watch them. And I've said it several times. The Champions League or the storylines that it tells. Losing out to quarterfinals, going to the final, all of those things that Inter have gone through. I think it was always going to be cruel. But I think in the match itself, a lot of things that we talk about. Debia may a big fan of football tactics and how it influences game. I think the tactics Emma teams the clearest of edges when it comes to a game state. Some by a bomb matcher. Team or what the clearest of ideas and how they want to play. And I usually on more edge. But sometimes also, and I think that you can't use tactics in isolation. The culture of the club is very important. And that's one thing that Inter for what most teams in Europe don't usually have. I mean, these are 39, 37, 35, 38-year-old football players are almost running around constantly. Obi running to win duels, win battles, and do stuff like that. And it doesn't just happen, honestly speaking. It doesn't just happen in anywhere. It takes people almost believing the ideas of the coach to be able to do that. And that's exactly what Inter for. Hi, Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. So when you're new to the channel there, thank you very much for joining us. I will give you the best in terms of football analysis on the field, post-match, on the everything about football. And it is come on. So you need that, then subscribe to the channel, turn on notification. That makes sure say anytime when you turn on notification, you choose all. So anytime I content about drop you and you're first to have it on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. And then in some way also there are a lot of things that we want to talk about. Of course, Chelsea for possibility for the run in and so on. You really sound common, has on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. So you invested there. Then today's codes are also ready or the description of the video below, or join any of the Fiifi-Manfred groups on the WhatsApp channel, any of them joining. And of course, give yourself a very good chance we'll be in the games. I think we have to start from the Inter Barca game. Because to be very honest with you, I remember matching here probably one of the best games I'm actually in football in terms of the two different styles, Inter 4 style and then Barca style. But this was an Inter that was totally different, especially in the first half as compared to Inter who away from home had a music in the first half. Inter in him and they knew, Simeone Inzaghi knew, said he couldn't go into this match sitting off from the blast of the whistle to the end. So aggressively this time, although Barca dominating most of the ball, even in the first half, Inter essentially tried to also press high and then move up the field and force Barca into a zone. And yes, constantly, if you sit off Barcelona for 90 minutes, then you're going to be in trouble. There's no way you defend your box for 90 minutes without getting any incursion at goal. No, and yet possible. And that's what Inter managed to do, to stay in it, to be aggressive, find the openings against team friend FC Barcelona, and then wait for their time to come. So they can also go spring up on a counter attack. I think one player has to be mentioned for Inter. And even just before we go, that's Selko Spain, a total heartbreak for Spain, for everybody there in front of Marsa and Mundo Deportivo. In fact, in front of Mundo Deportivo, the title is as Epic Goodbye. Epic Goodbye. And in Spanish, it's Adios a Pico, saying Barcelona were out in a super epic goodbye. Pedri, Munina were heartbroken. In fact, after the game, Obia heartbroken with respect to game there, of course, Rafinha said proud of the team. In front of Sport, I was a quick Uguelo de Quipo, proud of the team. And after the game, Pedri Gonzalez said in the penalty against Lamine, which was called a foul, the ref didn't yellow card Mkhitaryan, who already had a yellow card. He would have been sent off. That is what Pedri is saying. A lot of the Barca fans have a go at Abrantia, your friend of Ronald Araujo, because the two goals that were scored by Inter the third one and the fourth one in Nana Ronaldo Rao El Horom, 37-year-old Alec Acerbi won a ball ahead of Abrante Fernandao, and of course, same happened on the other side. Frankie de Jong after the game said he is devastated, and I think I agree with him because this was always going to leave the Barca boys now very, very much devastated, given everything that gone on. How the season I literally dominating Madrid, that was Spanish La Liga, and winning the Copa del Rey. Every game beyond the ball Champions League, but they seem to be unbeatable. Omobono, probably one of the best brands of football Barca have played in a very, very long time, and the German coach in Hansi Flick, something that's been super. But again, there they are. Sometimes football is about who wants it more, and that's why for me I give a lot of credit to Simeone Inzaghi. I don't think say there is any coach in the world who loses the quality of players that Simeone Inzaghi will lose and then come back with a return that he gets for you. It is just impossible to get that from Simeone Inzaghi. Trust me. Simeone Inzaghi, Elusu Lukaku, Olusu Andre Onana, some very, very top players that you'd have expected that they would stay on to build Inter team. They had to go. Then Simeone Inzaghi had to rebuild this team using Federico Di Marco, using Davide Fratessimo, using Zielinski, Acerbi, 37-year-old, Jean Sommer, 30-plus-year-old. These guys, very, very old guys compared to Barca boys, but still pushing in and then trying to get a job done. That is the job Simeone Inzaghi has done. For a lot of the people, they just don't understand. In fact, after the game, Inter president BP Marotta came to say, confirm Simeone Inzaghi a key part of the project. He's been excellent once again. He deserves all the credit. Inzaghi is an absolute crucial part of our long-term model over here, and I think that is true. And I've said it several times. Whilst tactically maybe Barcelona were top, they were literally one of the best teams that you can play against them. One of the things that you people most likely can the fact that football culture is the most important thing. Before the tactics work, you need the culture to be in place because tactics not the culture is the wheel that takes the tactics along. People understand that they have to win second balls. People understand that they have to be aggressive. People understand that they don't have to be like a Daisy come Lusubona. These guys, Interfono, almost running without the ball. Without the ball. Acerbi more, they went down several times. And it's credit to Barcelona because also twice in both legs, you show me 2-0 no one better 2-2. This one you show me 2-0 away at the Giuseppe Meazza, no one better in 2-2. Letting Inter Milan understand that it is a tough battle that they had over there at the Giuseppe Meazza. But of course, I think so on the day, the side that deserved it the most, Inter Milan have gotten the success that they so deserve. They really, deserve that over there from team and friend Inter Milan. After the game, Lamine Yamal, very, very distraught after the game, and you could tell said Neninja how things have gone. And I like the message of Lamine Yamal on Instagram. I say we have given it all this year. It couldn't be, but we will be back. Don't have any doubt, colours. We won't stop until we leave the club where it deserves at the highest. I will fulfill my promise and bring it to Barcelona. We won't stop. We get it. But Sunday is another final, and we have to be together. Long live Barcelona, and that's exactly what things are doing. Barcelona in terms of going out of the Champions League, in the semi-final of the Champions League this season after a very good season from Inter, from Barcelona, and how good that they have been. We give them a lot of credit for Barcelona for how far they've come. But what a season it has been for Internazionale Milan. How good they have been, how solid they've been. And I think that for me at this point in time, I already know my Champions League winners, and it looks as if say Inter for, because these stories of the Champions League are funny like that. Henrik Mkhitaryan after the game said, we gave everything. We believed until the end, united as one team, together with our fans who pushed us every single second. These are incredible feelings over there from Henrik Mkhitaryan talking about Inter and how well they push to make sure they get to wherever they are. They won in extra time 4-3 from Inter Milan digging deep and then making sure they get the result on a very, very important game. Mkhitaryan, Calhanoglu, Fratesi, solid stuff. Simeone Inzaghi has now led Inter to 2 Champions League finals in the last 3 years, of course. And for me, this is the year Inter will be winning Champions League final. They deserve everything that has come their way. Jean Sommer, excellent performance from a goalkeeper. His age, again, you give him a lot of credit. Inter have gone through. They've gone through to the semi-final, to the finals of the Champions League. It has been a super performance. Unless you've not watched them, unless you've not followed Internazionale Milan and how good they have been in recent times this season of Champions League. There they are, pushing in and making sure maybe come up we'll talk about the rest but in other things, turning attention into the run-in, the big run-in our English Premier League game, how things have been going. As the season is going in here, I come matches Kakrebi to decide how the run-in will go our Chelsea for the But just before we go, Chelsea have approached a branch friend Benjamin Sesko. Makacho said for the Chelsea sporting directors, it's about making sure they get the players that they want, getting the kind of players on open in the summer. Now, preparations are starting, especially since Chelsea are very, very close to getting Champions League football. All the preparations are in line, and one person, in the last few days, named Entourage, has been a branch friend Benjamin Sesko from RB Leipzig. This season, the ratings now have been good, very, very good in terms of getting goals and assists, goal contributions and stuff like that. Now, Benjamin Sesko has been okay. Makani several times, and me personally, so much enthused about a branch friend Benjamin Sesko. I think that there is a lot more in terms of quality or lack, in terms of growth, and in terms of centre forward. I did at Chelsea here, more of somebody who is a finished product, finished player who can really come in and obeshe goals no, ojina box ni ma, obobo goals na tum. And yet, somebody who's now coming to take another 1 year to find his feet, because already Chelsea team have a lot of those players. Now you don't need that. Now here is somebody who has the personality, who can play the game, comes in and then takes it from there. In terms of Chelsea for what they want to do, really, really important stuff. With Chelsea's look for a striker, former Man United scout Mick Brown, Wesley Fofana is one who could lead Chelsea. There are clubs in Saudi Arabia looking at him, and I don't think Chelsea will stand in his way. He's missed many games down there. Chelsea are definitely going to sell if the right offer no will come. Chelsea are already earmarking a lot of talents. That is why even Jarrell Hato, Ajax Amsterdam centre back. The reason why Chelsea went to him is that there's a likelihood, if offer comes for Brantia, your friend Wesley Fofana, they'll probably let him go. Then they will take that money, reinvest in young players who have very, very good injury record. Because the big issue with Wesley Fofana, Prano, unless Wesley decides that he doesn't want to go, he wants to stay at Chelsea and then still keep on playing. Hopefully he can get something out of it, maybe a trophy in recent times. But it's going to be tough. That's why Mamadou Sarr, Munia, they are doing at Chelsea are engaging us on the member. Omubisa, branch friend Benjamin Sesko about the move out of RB Leipzig. So right now, I'm 100% focused on RB. Then we will see what happens. It's open. Anything can happen. That is Asema Abrantia, your friend, Abrantia, your friend, Benjamin Sesko. Caicedo may not be quite the progressive passer that Lavia is, but in this hybrid positional role, he is meaningful passing upgrade on Malo Gusto or even captain with James. And I think that maybe it's the reason Chelsea want to give a branch friend Moise Caicedo the contract extension. I don't believe he said the improvement of Moise Caicedo has been top level. I mean, how good he has been on and off the ball, how much he dictates the pace of games, and again, saving some ball from right back Rampa, the inverted role now or from right back, Babeshi in Fiifi-Manfred. then progresses the ball forward. Like how he does his things now. You give a lot of credit to Abrante and Moses Caicedo, and Chelsea for no have plans on the man contract extension. So at the beginning of this season, Nicolas Jackson contract extension, Cole Palmer contract extension. The next person a bear Abrante Feno, Moses Caicedo. Maybe later Enzo Fernandez with James Mo and Nabino contract extension. Yes, say Enzo Maresca say we believe it. Say my brand here, your friend Romeo Lavia. Everything here is very, very fit from now to the end of the season. The passing, the line breaking ability, our top notch, and Chelsea for them are saying say they would want to keep him for the rest of the season, no matter dream. Of course, one of the things that makes Moise Caicedo stand out, especially it's all comparing to Abrante friend Romeo Lavia, the fact that Moise Caicedo is very durable. In fact, in 35 English Premier League games this season, about every match, only Chelsea player about every game, not no injury, no prime, nothing. Game yelling, and that is the durability of Abrante your friend Moises Caicedo. Enzo Maresca say manage players need, especially with Romeo Lavia and Rauti Inzaghi and Inter. He says Lavia will be carefully managed by Enzo Maresca. It's understood to be optimistic that the midfielders' fitness record will continue to improve. According to Chelsea for Nomujidi, said things are going to continue to improve as things are going for Abrante friend Enzo Maresca and in a month, and see how things are going to go on from there. We'll see. Saying that Chelsea for a fair with the game that's going to go on the rest of the games. Any easy, to be very honest. And now we see Newcastle for legend Alan Shearer. I'll say, Newcastle for they have to beat Chelsea or the St. James Park. Chelsea going away from home. It's also about getting results now away or the St. James Park to stay in a chance of winning anything. Something that's going to be very, very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. But wait to see how things are going to pan out from there in terms of Chelsea matches now. We'll see how things will go. But tonight, there is a big one. Very, very big one. Very, very big one in terms of the conversation. Champions League. It's the big one. Champions League. Paris and then Paris Saint-Germain versus Arsenal. We have had a conversation a lot of the times about Arsenal for it's a very, very huge one. It's going to be very, very important in terms of Arsenal game now against Paris Saint-Germain. Arsenal are going away to the Parc des Princes, and I think Parc des Princes is a very, very big pitch. It's about how Arsenal can manage to suffer. Tactically. So here, how Arsenal do play. Paris Saint-Germain again, they will still boss the midfield. They'll control the game. They'll hold on to the ball. They will dictate the pace of the game. On the ball, off the ball, press, counter press. BBR, that's about the Barca team, the Paris Saint-Germain team are going to do. Very aggressive without it. Very, very, calm when they have it to open up Arsenal for them. And on the technical midfield, no come to play. I think it's really what will give Mikel Arteta and Imran any chances. How long they can stay in the game to suffer. Without the ball and prevent Paris Saint-Germain from clear-cut openings. And the last time we were doing the analysis, how Ousmane Dembele used lots of movement off the ball, on the ball, and he pull players apart to find space and then shoot at goal. Literally is one of the best that I've seen in a very, very long time. Pulling those players apart, playing through them, and then arriving at the box with a good chance to shoot at goal. How good Paris Saint-Germain for it. And it's going to be difficult. Very, very loud, vociferous Paris Saint-Germain at Parc des Princes playing against an Arsenal team. But the most important thing for Arsenal for is they will have in return your friend Thomas Partey or Park and Fiifi. Total controller extraordinaire to control the tempo of the game, or control transitions when Arsenal have to go forward, when Arsenal have to go short, when they hold on to the ball, when they keep the ball. Literally, Arsenal will have their man back in Abrante friend Thomas Partey. He didn't play in the first leg, and that is where Arsenal lacked control. Yes, Partey or he doesn't stop the Ousmane Dembele goal, but what happens is that he gives Declan Rice the freedom to operate and play the football on open ball and then help Arsenal team to move forward, and that's what Abrante friend Thomas Day Party gives to the Arsenal team. I mean, an open game for both teams. I just think say will feel the Paris Saint-Germain a slight edge for them to go through and get a job done. Of course, I'm a Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Will draw the curtain on this morning's edition of our asset, but we'll be back in the course of the day. Until then, do take care. Bye bye.